I could never. I could never grow a garden. I could never be a mother. I could never own a business. I could never start a YouTube channel. I could never is one of those sneaky little phrases that once you see it, you can't unsee it. So, if you are wanting to stay stuck and small and disconnected from the desires of your heart, do not go any further with this video. Okay, you're still here. Let's unpack this then. Today I'm going to share with you two sneaky little phrases that your subconscious will use to bypass your ego. So let's talk a little bit first about what is the ego. So we have the version of us that we were perfectly created in, our authentic self. And then we have the version of us that we have created in order to feel safe, accepted, and loved. That is our ego. So I don't want you to think about your ego as something bad. She's not bad. She's just the version of you that you have created from all of your experiences so that you can feel safe. She's the version of you that you present out to other people. But we often get that a little bit confused. We start to believe that that is the true version of us, when in reality, our authentic and true self is just below the surface, living in our subconscious. So I want you to start paying attention to these two little sneaky phrases. The first one is, I could never. So often, when you hear someone share something with you, hey, I just ran a half marathon. Oh, I could never do that. Guess what? You actually could, and part of you has a desire to do that. And that part of you is your true, authentic self. But your ego has decided that that is not a safe thing to pursue. What if you fail? What if you're not very good at running? That doesn't feel very safe. And your true self knows that your ego will not allow this to happen. So she uses this sneaky little phrase, I could never. That feels really safe to the ego. The ego loves to kind of create a smaller and less capable version because that is usually what feels a little bit safer. So your subconscious, your true self, is going to express those desires through a phrase that sounds like, I could never. I could never grow a garden. I could never own my own home. I could never start a business. So often when we say those phrases, what's actually the true desire of our heart is that thing that we're saying we could never do. If somebody tells you, hey, I just ran a half marathon, and you have no desire in your heart to run a marathon, your response is more likely going to be, that's amazing, I'm so happy for you. But when you hear that phrase, I could never do that, I want you to start tuning in to the possibility that that is actually a very deep desire of your own heart. So you don't have to make any drastic changes, but as soon as you bring this into your awareness, you will start to see it in yourself. And when you do, instead of jumping right into that ego brain of I could never, just take a moment and observe and notice, oh, I wonder why that is the phrase I chose. I wonder if there actually is something inside of me that has a desire to do that thing. Maybe I have a really deep desire to grow a garden. And maybe, just maybe, it's safe enough for me to try that thing. That's where we want to start layering in other things that I've talked about in my last video, building that inner safety. The more inner safety you start to feel in your system, the more you're willing to observe yourself with things like phrases, I could never. And also, the more willing you are to try something that maybe to your ego feels a little bit scary. It's okay if you don't do things perfectly, but your ego doesn't feel like it's okay if you don't do things perfectly. So when you start to build that inner safety and start to get connected with that true, authentic self, those things don't feel as scary anymore. And your ego voice will not be as loud and in control anymore. Now, I also want to say that the ego is not bad. She is very much protecting you, and what I have found about my ego is that often she is a very young version of me. She is also a very fearful version of me, and she doesn't really need to be scolded or to get in trouble. What she needs most often is a hug. Hey girl, I see you. I hear that you're really scared right now. I'm okay. We're okay together, and we can actually try this thing. That's all that she needs to hear. I hear you, I see you, but we're gonna be okay. And that can radically change the way that you show up in life. So that was our first phrase, I could never. The other one I hear very often is, I'm not good at, or I'm not very something. I'm not very creative. I'm not good at cooking. I'm not very strong. There are so many ways that we have created these phrases that are expressing our desires, but in a way that our ego feels safe expressing. So, oftentimes I will share parts of my life with other people around me. Right now, I have been working through this book called The Artist's Way, which is basically working to unlock creativity. So when I share this with other people, what I often hear back is, oh, that's great. That's probably not for me. I'm not very creative. Guess what? If you are a human, and especially if you are a woman, you are creative. You may not paint or draw or play piano, but you create your reality all the time. You created a home. You created a life. You created the pans that are in your kitchen. More than likely, you're the one that picked those out. You created a meal probably today. You are creative. Just because it doesn't fit under this category of artist, painter, dancer, doesn't mean that you're not creative. So, I just want to start stirring these thoughts in you as to when these phrases start to come up. Instead of immediately accepting them as true, start to notice and observe them. So when you hear, I could never, I'm not good at, or I am not, I want you to take a pause. I want it to come into your awareness, and I want you to explore the idea that perhaps you actually are. You actually do want to, but maybe you're a little bit scared to try, or maybe it feels safer to say that you're not. A whole world of possibilities will open up to you when you start to recognize these phrases in yourself. And you can literally picture a part of you that is scared, or a part of you that doesn't feel capable, and imagine yourself giving that part of you a hug and saying, hey, it's okay. I see you, I hear you, but we're gonna be okay. And then try that thing. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to do it in front of anyone, but give it a try. Let's say you want to grow a garden. Maybe start with herbs. They're pretty resilient. Maybe you want to run a half marathon. Start with walking around your neighborhood and notice just each step that you take towards that goal that you have, that thing that you truly do desire in your heart, and reward yourself and give that ego a hug again. Hey girl, look at this. Look what we did. We walked around the neighborhood today. That's so awesome. Hey girl, look, I am growing basil. That is amazing. And before you know it, you may have the most plentiful and beautiful garden in your entire neighborhood. Okay, if you've stuck around this far, I'm gonna share with you 2 other little sneaky phrases that your subconscious likes to use, usually when what you actually want to say is no. We are highly conditioned as women to be agreeable and peaceful and to say yes to things. So we have adapted by using these sneaky little phrases, and the phrases are trying to and should. So those are the other things I want to bring into your awareness. Some of the most common ones. I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to work out 3 days a week. I should be nicer to people. I should call Aunt Linda once a week. So often, those kinds of phrases, trying to and should, are actually messages from yourself that those things aren't really for you. Maybe you don't want to work out 3 days a week. Maybe that's what you think you should do. Should gets into a whole nother realm. Should gets into a lot of shame. Usually we say the word should when we are making our decisions based on what other people around us think about those decisions and not really what we truly want. Trying to is also very similar. Trying to gets into this realm of I don't really think that I can, but I think that I should. So I will say I am trying to, so that the people around me, I am meeting their expectation. But I am already setting myself up to not meet that expectation. Tricky little words. Here's the freedom with trying to and should. When you see those come up, I'm trying to work out 3 days a week. Take a moment, take a pause, and just ask yourself, do I want to work out 3 days a week? Or do I think that that's something someone else around me is expecting of me? And you may find that your desire is totally different. Maybe you don't want to work out 3 days a week, or maybe you want to do exercise in a different way. Maybe you really enjoy dance classes. Maybe you really enjoy going for leisurely walks in the afternoon. But that doesn't fit into this expectation that you have put on the people around you and what they are expecting of you. And should is very similar. When you hear yourself say, I should invite so-and-so to this gathering. Listen, I'm not here to tell you to leave anybody out, but do you really want to? Because your desires, your inner desires are good. Your true authentic self, she is really good. And if she doesn't want to, it might be worth listening to that. It might be okay to not invite so-and-so to this gathering. It might be okay to not call Aunt Linda this week. It might be okay to not eat healthy based on someone else's expectations. Maybe when you open up that line of communication with your true and authentic self and notice those phrases, you can stop and listen to what you actually do want. And I guarantee you that true authentic self, she wants really good things for you. And those really good things are not harmful to the people around you, which is probably an entire other video. So maybe next week. So phrases like these are just fun to notice. It's fun to start to observe in yourself. Where am I bringing in these phrases? How can I stop and pause and just observe? What is my true desire here? Which part of this is my ego trying to keep me small and safe and stuck? And which part of this is my true authentic self who wants to fully express herself? And can I start to see her as good? Can I bring that safety into the ego that I have created? Can I give her a really good hug each time these things come up? Can I remind her that we are safe? Can I remind her that we are good? That our desires are good, that they're not harmful to other people? And just see where your life goes. See what you create. See what your true desires are. Because the world needs you. The world needs your authentic self and the desires of your heart to be brought into creation. It's a gift to the world. It comes from our Creator, it comes through us, And when it comes from our authentic self, it is only good. Thank you for joining me for this video this week. If you are looking for more one-on-one work, especially if you want to explore some of these phrases with me, you can contact me at the email below. Thanks.